Hi, I'm Stacy, and this is Wendy Cope's The Orange. At lunchtime, I bought a huge orange. The size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters, and I had a half. And that orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do. Just lately, the shopping, a walk in the park. This is peace and contentment. It's new. The rest of the day was quite easy. I did all the jobs on my list and enjoyed them and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist. Wendy Cope is a British contemporary poet who is celebrated for her lighthearted and humorous poems that often feature her dry wit and clever punchlines. She often explores connections and relationships such as family and love, and she has won many awards such as the Academy of Arts and Letters Michael Broad Award for her light verse in 1995, and she also became a Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature in 1993. In this poem, Cope is pretty straightforward and it's a very simple poem. It has three quatrains, meaning three stanzas that have four lines each. And so each stanza has an A-B rhyme scheme. And so this kind of emphasizes the simplicity of life and the kind of simple joy that she's trying to express in this poem. And in the first stanza, she begins with imagery, with a giant orange that her and her friends laugh about. And so this describes playfulness, and it talks about something so trivial as a simple orange and how that can bring so much joy to her and her friends. And so that moves on to another point, which is how she shares the orange with her friends. And when you share food, typically in literary works, that just means that it's a display of camaraderie and it shows connection between the people who are sharing. And I think that's very impactful because she's basically showing that her and her friends around such a simple, trivial thing have shared so much joy and so much happiness together. And in the second stanza, she explicitly mentions a lot of ordinary things. So she says, as ordinary things often do, just lately, the shopping, the walk in the park. And so that basically emphasizes how our everyday things that we usually do and don't really think about are such moving experiences for her, as she realizes that everything around her is a source of happiness and can be a source of joy for her. And so she talks about how it brings herself peace and contentment. And then in the third stanza, we see how that peace and contentment plays into her productivity, as she talks about how I did all the jobs on my list and enjoyed them and had some time over. And so that means that the fact that she's so peaceful and the fact that she's made the realization that her happiness comes from the little things makes her work better. It makes her have more time to enjoy herself and to really appreciate what she has. And so that plays into the last line, which is really impactful, with I love you, I'm glad I exist. And so this I'm glad I exist really is just self gratitude and just her showing appreciation for her simple existence in life. And she's showing that her existence has given her so much happiness and not just ambition and not just like her job is. It's more about what she has right now, and she's just appreciating that. And so that's the theme of this poem. It's just understanding and appreciating what you have right now. So this poem relates to me because I've learned to find the happiness in every single little thing that I experience, whether it's sharing meals with my friends or going to the park and just running around and acting like children. Another example is driving, which can seem so insignificant, especially when I do it every single day, but being able to drive my friends to their house or to a restaurant after school just provides me with so much contentment, happiness, and pride, especially since we're able to spend more time together. I've also learned to appreciate the little things that I share with my family. Every night we used to play mahjong, a 4-person game that requires a lot of strategy and a lot of thinking. I would always lose, but would manage to laugh and joke with my family regardless of the sad outcome. We would say, don't eat chicken, strive for greatness, which in our own mahjong world meant to not take the easy win. That's not the official phrasing according to my mom. I would also ask my mom to translate crochet patterns that were in Chinese because she's the reason why I learned how to crochet and is the reason why I crochet to this day. Those little moments remind me of Getting It Right by Sonia Chung. We learned that we have to cherish even the expired pills, the crumbled cookies, and the unexpected calls from our parents, as they're all attempts to connect with us, similar to Wendy Cope's Orange. They provide us the little happinesses in our life. Even Ivan Illich teaches us to find the genuine path in life, and for me, that is through the small moments that I have with my family and my friends. It may not be the most successful, but it is the happiest. The Orange by Wendy Cope. At lunchtime, I bought a huge orange. The size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters and I had a half. And that orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do. Just lately, the shopping, a walk in the park. This is peace and contentment. It's new. The rest of the day was quite easy. I did all the jobs on my list and enjoyed them and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist.